everyone. This is Click to Relax, and I wanted to make a little video. Truthfully, right now, I actually don't have any internet. I have no Wi-Fi or data, and apparently it's a nationwide outage, so I was going to put on a VHS tape. I actually did. We have a VHS player now, and it stopped working about 20 minutes in, and it wasn't just the tape. I even tried another one and it wouldn't work, so that was a bummer. And so I ended up just having dinner and turning on a little portable radio we have, seeing if the news would tell me anything. But I have been told it's an outage through the power of text messaging and not iMessage. So, with that in mind, I kind of just felt inspired to do a video because it's been so long, and I wanted to show you this lovely book that I found. It's this interior design book from, I believe, the early 90s. It's let's see what it says here. Celtic, living in Scotland, Ireland and Wales. So, yeah, this is a really lovely book. It has a lot of kind of 90s interior design in it. And, I mean, just look at this little, almost kind of emblem or logo on the front. It's kind of like two dolphins and the water in between them. And, yeah, I think that's very unique. So, that's quite nice. So, I've read through this a few times before, but I wanted to take you with me this time. So, let's open it up. I've also really been into interior design lately, with moving into my new place. So, yeah, this is quite welcoming. So we're greeted by this kind of lovely abstract kind of artwork, and up here in the top it actually says Ian Milliken, I believe, 1990. So I think this book is from 1990. Let's open it up and have a little look. Celtic. So, here we are. Celtic, living in Scotland, Ireland and Wales, by Deborah Krasner. And as you can see, this is the kind of spaces that we're going to see in this book. Very lived in, very rural, lots of books, and lots of interesting decor. And that's why I really like this book, is because it's kind of like a throwback to more traditional interior design, kind of incorporating some, I guess, kind of older elements, but some of these spaces are actually very timeless, I think, which is really nice. Some have aged worse than others, but we'll look through them together. So yeah, it says 1990, and we have this lovely little piece to begin with. Thank you to the musicians who play Celtic music, which inspired and sustained the work on this book, and thank you to my family, who danced to that music with such joy and grace. This book is dedicated to those dancers, Michael and Abigail and Elizabeth. So, let's dive in. Under already here, you can see a lot of traditional plateware. It kind of reminds me of my nan's house. I don't know if I've ever spoken about my nan on this channel, but her place is stunning. She has so many plates and just things, and it's just a proper like antique kind of cozy home. But this reminds me of her shelving. So you can see here we have the contents, and we're actually going through loads of different houses and people's homes. Some are more, some are like a castle, some are a farm, and some are more specific places, but they're all kind of going with the idea of places that have been lived in. So, let's have a look. Here we start with the foreword, which I won't fully read out, but I'll let you see it on the screen, and you can read through if you wish. And pause. A lovely kind of photo just here. I feel like I recognise these kind of mountain hills. This might be from Wales. Kind of look like it's from Snowdonia maybe, but I'm not too sure. But it kind of does look familiar. It's a very pretty picture. Okay. And here we have some acknowledgements, and again, some nice images of different interiors and exteriors. Well, actually, they're all exteriors. But yeah, acknowledgements. Again, if you would like to pause and read through, you may. Okay, now let's begin looking through. This is a little introduction. Talking about places in Ireland, Scotland and Wales. I like the stony texture on this one, it's quite unique. It's almost like a grey stone, which is quite nice. I do quite like that. And really nice stone cottage just down here. Imagine living there. Okay, and some more. These are just general photos, kind of giving you an idea of the landscape that inspires these homes. Because the landscape really can inspire, how an interior looks, I think. Especially if you're somewhere quite, in the middle of nowhere. Unfortunately, I don't live in the middle of nowhere. I am still... I haven't moved to my dream home, but it is a very nice flat. And it feels much more like home than our old one did. If some of you are new here, I moved last year to somewhere away from my hometown. Not too far, because I still had to commute, but it was nice, but it just wasn't the same. And now I've moved back to my homeland, and my homeland? My hometown. It's not that far away. And yeah, I'm just like super happy to be back. Feels like home. Okay. This continues. We're seeing a few more interior spaces. I mean, this is beautiful. That's the kind of cottage dream right there. And also, if you can see, I like the kind of stony elements that's just built in. And there's a lovely little, maybe like an oil lamp, and a nice big fire. So, we start with Scotland. We'll have a little introduction to Scotland, some landscapes. The land rises and dips, flowing to lochs that provide habitat for the salmon for which Scotland's smokehouses are renowned. Do you like smoked salmon? I love smoked salmon. You've got a cow, proper Highland cow right there, a burial ground, a lovely little village kind of scene, and again some more scenery. I do want to start looking at the interiors. Hope you don't mind me rushing through. I do have my dehumidifier on the background, but maybe it'll be some nice white noise for you. Okay. Here we go. So, this is our first house, Widow's Cottage, which is a tiny little hut. There is a name of like little, I heard about this, they're little like huts that are not powered by electricity on the Scottish Highlands, just kind of dotted throughout, and they're upkept by some kind of organisation. They kind of look somewhat like this, but a bit more run down, but it's purely for hikers and campers to stay inside. And people leave candles and food. Obviously, it's like, tinned goods or stuff that doesn't expire. I can't remember the name of them. If anyone knows, do let me know. I don't think it would say in here, but yeah, it just reminded me of that. And again, a little couch is there. So, in we step. This first place is a true cottage. So, have a lovely armchair, little kind of crocheted pillow, which is really cute, as you can see that. Have the fire pit, which is kind of like, has a little nook, and then can faintly see some pots and pans. Nice wicker basket and stool, and then the bed, which has this quite nice kind of stripy bedding. And again, a freestanding table, which functions both as a workspace and dining area. Which is, I think, how most people kind of utilise a dining table nowadays. It's not so much for dining, unless people are having dining rooms nowadays. Yeah, that's it, a box bed. The bed is high to catch the rising heat and provide storage space underneath. Oh, that makes sense. That maybe explains why beds of the past used to be higher, so they could get more heat, perhaps, maybe. So this is a very kind of rural interior, and yeah, a lot of natural materials. Let me show you this side. You can see the outdoors. I love the red roof. I guess that's corrugated or tin kind of roof. And the stone combination especially this one here. It's hard to tell, but I think they have blue doorways, which is beautiful. Yeah, it's not lots of nice photos. Nice kind of, just very, very minimalist, but very kind of classic ceramics here, which is quite nice. I do like these. And again, this is 1990, so these are very kind of timeless designs. Oh wow. Here we are. It walks you through who lives in these homes. So, the inveterate collector. The owner of this house in Glasgow is a political scientist and academic, but he is a collector most of all. The multitude of objects in his home is the result of nearly constant looking, trading, research, and delight. I love that. He approaches his collecting with the rigour of a scholar and the sensibility of an aesthete. So, yeah, that's really nice. And here, as you can see, that's a cabinet which is just stunning. It almost looks like the glass is green tinted, but that is beautiful. It makes sense that he says he spends every Saturday rising early searching for food stands at open markets, looking for objects that enhance to his already staggering collection. And it really shows. So this was the same image on one of the front covers, and yeah, you can really tell. All the books are displayed front or from forward, facing forward. And yeah, really unique kind of vases and lights and whatnot. These are I find that these are kind of blending modern kind of Gen Z styles, because kind of like imperfect, kind of wobbly pieces, I guess. Oh yeah. Oh wow, look at this. So, look at this stunning fireplace. So we have this beautiful shelving, lovely stained glass window, very, very tall bureau. Is it a bureau? But it has this lovely, rich red wood, accompanied by a chair and this lovely detailed rug. The outside of the fireplace is kind of a white stone, slightly Art Deco in design. And the fireplace itself has red bricks. And here again, another look, very, very cozy. I think the shelving along the top definitely enhances this feeling. But many, many things on the walls. Beautiful kind of original wooden furniture and storage pieces. And I believe that's a lovely little kind of corner seating area, which is lovely. The front door gives no hint of the treasures that lie beyond. I mean, that's a pretty grand front door, so I would say otherwise, but I can't say mine looks that beautiful. And again, really lovely stained glass work. The books. And look at this very unique space here. Now this space reminds me of my nan's house. It's the paintings on the walls. They're not necessarily fully aligned. They're just in a way that makes sense, and they're hanging these kind of very classic. I'm not sure what you would call it, like a standing piece here. Lots of paintings along the wall, going down the stairs. Very bright but warm lighting. There's no overhead lighting here. A very comfy looking sofa with beautiful floral embroidered pillows. And it goes through and a nice big green rug, a really kind of rich green as well, which is beautiful. Oh, I really love this space. It's so lived in. As it describes it here, Anglo-Indian decor is featured in this corner of the wide upstairs landing. Both the carpet and the daybed fabric are from India. And that's why it's so beautiful, because it's probably very classic and handmade. And that's actually a daybed, which is really convenient. Okay, yeah, I love this place. This is what I'm personally aiming towards, but I can't put too much up on the walls because we are still in a rented apartment. But one day, you best believe that my house will look like this. And there's more. Again, some really, really lovely elements. This big wardrobe with a big mirror, and also another kind of cabinet here, but with some very interesting kind of, I don't know if that's painted on or just part of the design, but it's very nice. And it says here, the Art Deco bedroom contains pottery by Clarice Cliff, as well as choice pieces of pool pottery on top of the wardrobe. Beautiful. Really love it. And again, feels more kind of classic, but still very timeless. You know, it may not be of this current era of interior design, but you can tell it's substantial and it will last. And again, here is a snippet of the wall, which has some lovely pieces. More Art Deco objects line the wall above the bed. I'm not sure if I would want these above my bed. I feel like I'd be worried about them falling off, hitting me on the head, and waking up in a concussion, which is not something you want. But they are very lovely. Okay, nice kind of drinks cup there as well. Really nice glass. Oh wow, it continues. Yeah, this is a good one. So much red. So much red. My living room is actually red in this flat now. Our landlord was going to get it painted white, and we actually said, hold on, we really love the red, and she agreed to keep it that way. It turns out she is also really passionate about keeping things traditional, kind of as they were, and so when it's redecorated shortly, it's going to be hopefully kept red, which I'm very happy about. But as you can see, I mean, just look at this space. The center table in the front hall is an illustration of the extensive Japanese influence on early Art Nouveau. The vase on the top is a Vaseline glass. I wonder if that's actually the same Vaseline as the lip balm, not sure. And again, really stunning. I feel like the furniture may be a bit dated here. I would opt for maybe something a bit more contemporary, but I really do love the detailing. And this is just, I mean, this is exactly what my nan's place is like. The way the plates are arranged on a big wooden piece. More art again, not arranged in any particular or organised way. It's kind of got a pattern. And again, beautiful red wall, daylight coming in, small mirrors, delicate pieces. Yeah, I really love this. Late 19th century and 20th century art by Glasgow school painters hang near an unusual Art Nouveau desk found in Dorset. So I actually grew up in Dorset, so that's really nice to hear. The couch fabric is also a William Morris design. Okay. Now we're about to move on to our second place. This one is called Driftwood Loft. Interesting. So two artists live here, Liz Ogilvie and Bob Callender. So two artists. And it's actually seems to be, I'm just going to adjust my seat because I'm at a bit of an angle. That works. And it's actually quite minimalist. It actually says here, a contemplative corner of the austere master bedroom shows the minimalist sensibility of the owners. And I kind of heard this rhetoric online about, minimalism being quite dull and the spaces always look quite boring, but I think this is an example of how it can be done really well. And you can pull a theme into minimalism. It doesn't have to be sleek black lines. You can still have pieces with character, and I think that really shows this. Like, we have this beautiful old wood chair, a classic kind of desk lamp, and I'm not sure if this is a futon. It may be a futon. Maybe. And then here we have this very unique space. It says, in the main room, the dining table, benches, chair, and kitchen cabinets were all made from driftwood washed ashore near the bothy. Wow, so that's why it's called Driftwood Loft, because these were all made of pieces of driftwood, which is beautiful. Okay. And as you can see, this one is definitely minimalist. Still has a lot of things, like a lot of books here, but the way it's been organised, obviously, we have one painting just here of, I actually cannot tell, it's too dark, but of a person just up there. Very interesting wooden bench, and yeah, this kind of lovely inlet. And as you can see, again, a very minimalist space. I think personally, this is slightly less my style, just because it does feel a bit too empty, and there is a lot of the same material, that being wood. But of course, they are really leaning into that. Again, this is their bedroom, and I do love the wooden elements, but I feel like there just needs to be like a pop of colour, maybe some green or a bit of orange somewhere, maybe even some blue, like a traditional blue vase would work really nice. But again, I suppose that's less minimalism, so I understand why they're keeping it very simple. And it does say here, Jacobean chair functions as pure sculpture in this carefully edited museum-like environment. And I think that's what it is. It feels more like a museum, and less like a home space. And again, a devotion to wood, which is the title of this next one. Can't believe I've just hit 30 minutes of recording. Wow, it's gone so quick. I think I'll just do the Scottish section today and record another one another time. But I am enjoying this. So, Stead and his wife Maggie live here. And this truly is a wooden space, and I find this so funny. Oh my god, a relaxed wooden man contemplates the garden. I feel like that would be a really good, like, just cropped meme, you know? You'd see that somewhere online. That's just so good. And yeah, as you can see, this is a heavily wooden space. And I do like this more than the last one because it feels lived in. It does feel more homely. I love these brown bowls and this big brown pot. There's bread rolls here, a butter container. I think they're about to have a really nice bowl of soup, which is actually what I had for dinner tonight. I did a kind of honeyed parsnip soup. It was more like a general vegetable soup, but it turned out really nice. And later this month we are going to do pumpkin soup. So yeah, this is a really beautiful wooden space. Even the light fixture is wood, which is, oh, you can only just see it. Very impressive. But it also has this kind of brown tiling back here, which is quite interesting. So yeah, this is quite a nice space. Feels really warm. I mean, wow. Just look at this. So first of all, we have the outside, which in itself is stunning. And the caption says, all of the windows in the house are large double glaze replacements designed to conserve heat and increase light in the interior. So I guess perhaps back in 1990, that's when double glaze was kind of a luxury, I guess, or just kind of becoming more commercial. I mean, some people nowadays get triple glazed. I think half of our flat is double and half of it's single, but that's not too bad. We've been quite warm considering, so it's pretty good. Wood drying on rugs provides a contrast in texture to the old stone walls of the workshop, and that is very important, is texture. Sometimes if a room feels a bit dull, it's because you need to bring some texture into it, and if not, then pattern. And I mean, just look at this stunning room. Beautiful. We have plants hanging from the ceiling, a kind of dark outside, big window. I believe this is a carpet, a really big carpet or rug, a very traditional kind of wooden chess set, fireplace, really interesting wooden panelled walls just here, and also candles, which are beautiful. Yeah, this is stunning. Very unique chair as well. Here we have a piano. We have some records actually. It's a record alcove, which is nice. And I super obsessed with this sink. Oh my god. You can see a skylight there, these plants hanging, really beautifully natural, almost terracotta-like tiles, and this wooden sink, which is just amazing. And all her little toothbrushes are kept in a little, I think it's an old mug, which is actually really nice, and yeah, that gives it a lot more character. I might have to take that as inspiration, find a nice old mug to put my toothbrush in and toothpaste. But yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed. It's not just wood, it's also tile, it's plants, so there's a lot of different materials and also different textures, so very natural, very kind of geometric and ordered, and then just lush green. I mean, I could cry. It's beautiful, stunning, and I mean, come on, look at this. And that's potentially all double glazed as well, which is just amazing. Got some crackers out, so you can have a cup of tea, crackers and cheese. Very unique wooden elements. This staircase is really giving Hobbit home. And it says, building into the stair treads allows the desk to have lots of cubby holes. That is actually a desk. Look at that. Amazing. That reminds me of a flat building house. I guess it's more of a home in Tokyo. It's a video on YouTube, which is tiny, but it goes upwards more than it does outwards. So it's this tiny, it's probably like, I want to say maybe 6 meters from each end, 5 or 6 meters. But it just goes up, and they do a similar thing. I think if you search something like Tokyo home, small space, vertical, 7 levels or something, it should come up. But it reminds me of that, and I absolutely love that one. Here we have a bit more of a wooden space, but look at that bed. Really beautiful bed. I mean, I could die in that bed and I'd be happy. There's also some kind of light up here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but it's quite something. Lovely little window as well. But yeah, I mean, I think the stairs, all those books in, and this is maybe the star of the show, honestly. It's so beautiful. So many plants. And also the roof has these naturally growing along it, which is just amazing. So stunning. This is interior design goals for me. This is the dream. I think we'll do this last one. If I remember correctly, this one's a little bit more minimalist. Let me just see how many more pages we have until we leave Scotland. We're still on Scotland for a while. So what I'm going to do is do this last one, and then we will make a part 2, and we will look through these together with a part 2. I may also bring a candle here next time, or somewhere, just so we have some nice lighting. I think that would be very nice. So, see our Macintosh's home, which is the Macintosh house. It was renovated in 1906 by and for Charles Rennie Mackintosh and his wife, artist Margaret MacDonald. So, this is kind of like a, I guess, kind of heritage house, perhaps. think this will be quite an interesting space. I liked parts of it from what I remember, but some I just didn't. So we'll see. Those almost look like hearts. Maybe? I'm not too sure. So, in we go. Yeah, now this is quite a contemporary space. And to begin with, we have some interesting cupboards. White painted cupboards and white fireplace niches mark the street-facing end of the sitting room. 4 identical lighting fixtures further emphasise the plate rail level of the cut-off window. And these are very kind of industrial lighting fixtures. Very warm light coming from them, which is nice. There's some very unique pieces. So I suppose this is some kind of chair. It's a very unique chair. It's very tall. It feels a bit imposing, but I suppose you could use it as a full-on reading nook. I would want maybe a light up there or something. Very interesting kind of stained glass piece. Actually, that must be the white cupboard opening. So that's that, which is interesting. And it says the influence of Japanese forms on Macintosh is readily visible in this fireplace design. The frieze, I think, above the fireplace is the work of his wife. So this very kind of interesting piece, which is quite earthy, almost touches of floral in it, which is interesting. I do quite like this. It's, again, quite industrial. This lovely border surrounding it. The books are very orderly in this space compared to the others. Very orderly compared to the others. And as it says, in such pristine and monochromatic environments, everything stands out, and it really does. It's a very interesting space. I'm not sure, again, it feels much more like a museum. Oh wow, this is quite stunning though. So, kind of some interesting looks here. Very interesting. So reflective silver paint was stenciled on the dark dining room walls. I'm not sure what these are, if it's reflecting the lights or if it's painted on, it doesn't say. But yeah, very large, very dark wood side panelling. I think that's actually a unit there, like a storage unit. Not sure what this is. And we have some big kind of dead plants here. I do like that kind of look. I actually bought some dried out flowers off Etsy, and they were tiny and they were a bit rubbish. They were like £3, but I was like so. I might just go try and pick some. Not sure how, but oh well. But yeah, very tall seating just here, which is interesting. Big wooden table, metal elements. I'm going to split mind about this room. I like parts of it, but some I'm also not so sure on. And again, another look at the fireplace. Actually, the outside is very almost brutalist. Quite brutalist. It almost looks like a factory, which does seem quite cool. Some kind of light going here. Again, quite industrial. A painted table sits on the hearth landing. Everything in this home was planned, even the lines of the grate reflect the patterns of the furniture. actually, that's a good point. The white furniture in an all-white room makes every shadow and detail more striking. Twisted twigs make a strong design statement. My only personal question is, you would have to, not so much question, but how easily would you see the dirt? I feel like you would have to really clean it very often. That's my only gripe. Okay. And I think, yeah, this is the last page of this one. So, it's another fireplace like the first one before, and another artwork in hammered silver. I personally would love to see some plants in there hanging down. A glass-topped dressing table, which is interesting. Two big twin wardrobes. A full-length mirror. And finally, the marriage bed hung with cloths designed and embroidered by Margaret MacDonald Felsenauer. So that's the wife who lives there, the artist. Okay. It's a very interesting space. But again, I think the winner is definitely this. Specifically, I mean the stairs, some really lovely wooden, but also I really did love the second one, which is here. I really love these spaces. Very striking. So that will be the first read through of this book, Celtic, living in Scotland, Ireland and Wales. And I will continue this because I actually really do like looking through interior design, especially more kind of vintage books like this. It's kind of like a time capsule. And yeah, we'll continue looking through Scotland, and eventually we'll move on to Wales or Ireland, whichever one comes first. But let me know what you think of this video, if you think I could go through the rooms faster, if you want more commentary, less commentary. But do let me know, because I like videos like this and I want to make sure I'm doing the book justice. So, thank you for watching this lovely part 1, potentially, and I hope you feel relaxed, and don't